And we'll give you one with your name, but not Charlie's, since Charlie complained about that the last meeting.
What, they had a name?
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
All right, why don't we go ahead and call the meeting to order then at 7:03. We'll start with a roll call, if you don't mind. Commissioner Robinette, thank you.
Alex Robinette.
Jameel Allam.
Amy Rodnick.
And Jordan Scott serving as chair. I know Tony Stein is on his way. And I'm not sure if Commissioner Nash will be joining us tonight. He had childcare. He was going to try and make it. So they'll join us when they can. But we have a quorum, so why don't we go ahead and ask for any public comments for items not on our agenda. Are there any comments from the public for items that are not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move forward. Consent agenda. We have one thing on it, which is effectively the minutes. Is there a motion to pass the consent agenda? Or would anybody like to pull anything? By anything, I mean the one thing on the consent agenda.
I'm trying to get my packet to load here.
Gotcha. I know we had... We'll try and get that packet to you a little bit earlier this next time. You should have minutes right in front of you as well, that were just handed out.
Yeah, I was out of the country for the November 6th meeting, so I can't make a motion. I think I need to abstain.
Okay, I was here.
Same, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda or the meeting
Okay.
minutes, which is,
I can second. What, do we have an issue if two people abstain though? Or is it just 2-0?
It's the minutes, it can be 2-0.
Great.
We have a quorum, so
Yeah.
I think
Motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
abstain.
Okay, I would say any opposed, say nay, and abstentions. Would be
Abstention.
2 abstentions, okay. Motion passes 2-0 with 2 abstentions for, okay. All right, we're gonna move on then to item number 3 on our agenda. I'll put these away. Which is a public hearing on a final plat application for the purposes of obtaining a building permit at 2514 Rollingwood Drive. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak in our public hearing? And we're going to call the public meeting at, God, I can't see the clock in the new spot. It's a little bit of shine on it, but I'm thinking it's 7:07? 7 after, okay. Okay, anybody on the board?
Nobody signed up.
Nobody signed up. Okay, anybody from the audience would like to speak on this item? This is your best chance.
Depends on what you're talking, what you say.
Uh,
You might want to respond.
yeah, if you have any presentations or anything from what's been going on, we're happy to hear it. We will likely allow comment, but we aren't, it's not necessary for us to allow comments after public hearings. So, this is your chance to say whatever you want to say.
As to which is Mopac that way?
Well, sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to give your name back into the
Mopac's that
record
way, okay,
again.
yeah. Okay, I know which one it is.
small tree covered.
And we have 2 commissioners who weren't here to hear your comments from last time as well, so this may be a good time.
My name is Catherine Harris at 2501 Timberline Drive. Been there for 38 years. Our neighbor is Joe, who's the owner of the property behind us now. And we are here primarily just to see what the plat is, what the setbacks are. We heard 2 different numbers last time we came, so kind of like to know what the final number is for setback requirements. And the other thing I have to offer is we were concerned about what's on the current plat as an easement behind the house that Mr. Garcia has and the house next door to that. And so I did some investigation. I was in touch with the people who lived originally in the house next door to Mr. Moore, the Powells, George and Vonna Powell. That was in the mid-'70s. In the mid-'70s, Timberline Drive stopped at their driveway. So, and Phil Hines was, who was the developer of that area of Rollingwood, which was totally pristine and undeveloped at the time, owned all the property behind the Moore House and behind the, it's the Lepore House now, but it was the Powell House then. And so I talked with George and Vonna Powell about that easement, because nobody seemed to know what it was, whether it was, they didn't think it was a utility. The city did not think it was a utility easement, but they didn't know what it was. Well, the Powells explained to us that when Phil Hines developed all of that from what's now Timberline, well, actually from Riley Road east, he owned the undeveloped property behind the two houses. The one faces Riley and one faces Rollingwood. So when he finished his development plan and his plat, he failed to remove those easements, which the Powells speculated were there for a possible road from Timberline over to Rollingwood, because Timberline stopped at the Powell driveway. There was no development until Phil Hines did that. Our house was built by Phil Hines. And so were the ones across the street. He built his own houses across the street. But anyway, after he had gotten all of his plans together and done his development, he offered that property labeled as an easement, the 25 extra feet, to each of the two homeowners, the Moores and the Powells, and both of those homeowners accepted his offer, so they were able to purchase the extra 25 feet. It was just never, as Joe said, never replatted, so it looks like it was platted as an easement. It may have been in the beginning, but Hines did not change that, so that the land was available to those two homeowners who face, one of them faces Riley and one faces Rollingwood. So that's all. We just wanted to mention that that property is not a utility easement of any kind. It doesn't belong to the city, never did. So the purchaser of that land is the owner. That's all. And then we would like to know the setbacks, but you can tell us that, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Any additional public comments? We'll let the record show that Commissioner Stein is here. Thank you for attending. We appreciate it.
Thanks, sorry I'm late.
All right, hearing no additional comments, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:12. And we are going to adjourn into executive meeting for consultation with our attorney. Shouldn't take long. So we're going to ask everybody to please head on over to Amber's office, and we're going to have a quick discussion. Okay?